Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm here with my good friend Jade, who is an amazing Ayurveda practitioner, and we spoke together maybe a couple of weeks ago now about combining our efforts because I'm, focused on energy and, on an energetic level about what's happening, astrology, all that type of stuff. And when I was speaking with Jade, we just thought we could bring in something that, on a more practical level that could help us or help everyone during this time. And we talked a lot about women's stuff, but not to exclude men, but the things that women are going through as well. So, Jade, do you want to just introduce yourself and just say hello and then maybe just share what you do in Ayurveda briefly?
Yeah, of course. Thanks so much, Julie, for having me. And to your audience, hello. I am an Ayurvedic practitioner. Now, for those that don't know what Ayurveda is, it is a tradition that comes from India. It is a health system, and it is based on the elements. So we have, water, earth, fire, space, and air. So we are going to be talking about, things around astrology and the moon, and that's closely related to the water element, which is really beautiful. But this is a tradition that's over 5,000 years old, and it's all designed around supporting people through their health and well-being. And it's all around taking preventative maintenance on the body and tuning into the world around us so that we can have optimal health.
Oh, that's great. Wow, what a great summary. And I forgot to say how much I love Ayurveda. And that's how I got connected with Jade in the first place, because it's something that I guess due to the meditation that I've been doing since 2008, I got into Ayurveda, and then we ended up meeting up, which is a long story, which I won't repeat. But I just found Ayurveda so helpful just in terms of, just everything, stress, anxiety, which is what's coming up for a lot of people now. So maybe I'll go into that about just, the energies that we're experiencing at the moment. The word that I would use for 2009 is intense. So, it's kind of a year of endings, of things that, no longer work on a, collective level globally, but then also on a very individual level. And as a result, there's so much clearing that we're experiencing in the body and, in our field and our consciousness. And what I feel it's about coming back to our true center, which I know Ayurveda supports. And so it's really about, when we were born as babies, we didn't have all this, all this conditioning placed on us, all these ideas, beliefs. We were just this pure innocence, pure love. And, inevitably in the society that we've grown up in, we've had loads of things put on us. And I just feel that this year is kind of like that really big push to let go of those so that we come into our true selves, our authentic selves. And as a result, like the astrology is supporting that, as well as all the solar activity, which is hitting us. And so we get affected by that. And we experience things like fatigue, muscle aches, insomnia, heart palpitations, so many different things that are coming up for people, as well as the anxiety, because every time there's solar activity, I feel the anxiety come up. And I think it's just because it's the energy that's reaching us. And then, when that energy hits us, it's also hitting the earth, which, when the solar flares stop, that's when we start to see earthquakes and all that energy being released. And it's kind of the same thing that we're experiencing as well. And then, so that's a big part of what we're experiencing at the moment, especially this year. And I think next year will be very different. As we see the collapse of this current structure that we're in, next year will be very different. And definitely that new beginning that, has been a long time waiting. But yeah, Jade and I came together this time because we've got the new moon in Virgo this coming Saturday, Sunday, depending on where you are in the world. And yeah, it's just, this, well, I thought it would be a good idea we both thought it would be a good idea to do it now, because Virgo is a sign of health. If you know any Virgos, they generally value their health. I know a lot of Virgos, and yes, they're either vegetarians or they're exercising loads, or they're, it's that type of thing. And we just thought that it'd be a great time to really start talking about that. So I wondered, Jade, what you thought, or what are some of the techniques in Ayurveda that you'd recommend that are, simple to incorporate that can help us through these changes, such as anxiety or sleep, being impacted by sleep or fatigue, those type of things. What would you recommend?
Well, the new moon, right? It's when we think about the new moon, and then we think about the full moon. The full moon is very bright and luminous, whereas the new moon, it can actually take us to states of more inertia. It's dark. It actually gets us to really reflect and come back to self. And I think that's really hard for us to do in society today, because we're always on the run, needing to get to a job or the children or whatever our commitments are, whether you're single or you're not. We seem to fill our plate with things. And I think what you said earlier around, we were born with pure love, and then we've had all of this stuff put on top of us as we've gotten older. And so we think we have to be this certain person in this environment. And so when it comes to times of needing to shut down or come inward, it's really hard for us to give us permission to do that. And lunar, it is closely related to the feminine, which I'm sure is, as you already know. And so with that, with the feminine nurturers, we have to give ourselves permission to actually just take that step back and ground in. I don't want to eliminate men, because we all have, both sides, feminine and masculine. So this also goes for everybody. So, certain things that are super beneficial for anyone that's looking to ground in is oiling the body. And so if you have sesame oil, that's beautiful oil just to actually rub that, has to be warm, and rub that from your feet all the way up your body. And that is actually just nourishing your whole body. It goes into your largest organ, your skin. So it nourishes your blood, it nourishes your muscles, it helps that relaxation, and it actually can help us to try and relieve some of that stress and that anxiety. And particularly anxiety, breathing. I know that there is pranayama. However, you don't need to know pranayama in order to just take some deep breaths. Just simply breaking throughout the day and taking 10 long deep breaths, filling up your belly, again, giving yourself permission to take a step back from your computer or whatever it is you're doing. And just actually taking those breaths. Things like journaling. This is something I'm hearing a lot, is journaling, meditating, and I think they're on the rise, which is so beautiful. Gratitude journaling is another one. But getting your ability to sit down and really just release whatever's in your mind. Don't judge what you write. Just let it come out. No one's going to read it. If you're worried about that, because I had a client who was very worried about that. So she decided to write and then paint over it so that she could at least get rid of it. And then, because she's a painter, so that's how she did it. So look, there's different ways that you can put it in your phone, whatever it is. I would recommend trying to stay away from digital, because the whole intention is to come back to self, and incorporating things like technology can be a little bit fragmented. But yeah, they're just a few things that I'm sure everyone's heard about. But when done regularly and consistently, you will see a major difference in your health and your well-being. And looking at different foods as well. I could go on about food, but there is certainly different foods that are going to be more favorable for different people. Just to quickly give people a rundown, that we have 3 body types, which is Vata, Pitta, Kapha, and each of those body types all relate to the elements, which all relate to astrology, which relate all to the planets, relate to our world. So it's all connected. So if anyone ever wants to learn more around that, obviously message Julie, and I'm more than happy to share some wisdom around that. But yeah, making sure that we listen to our body and give ourselves permission to step back and take a breath or journal or oil our body is definitely one of my favorites.
That sounds amazing. I love that. Yeah, I'll make sure to include your link in the description box so that people can get information by looking at your site or contact you as well. But yeah, I love that because that oiling is so soothing. And I actually, whilst I do that, it's like a massage, a self-massage to you, which is
absolutely.
You don't actually, it's lovely to have it done by someone else, but when you do it yourself, it's beautiful.
It makes such a difference to your lymphatic flow. I was having some pulling in one of my legs, and so I saw an acupuncturist in addition to doing my regular Abhyanga, is what we call it. And she couldn't believe the results that were happening so quickly. And we put it down to the fact that I'm doing the Abhyanga so regularly. So it's a thing. It's a thing.
So the oil massage, self-massage, the journaling, and
the breathing.
And the breathing, yes, that's an important one, because we just don't breathe properly, do we?
No, and we're not taught to. It's a very reactive breath. It's even something over the years that I've had to train myself to do, and I'm not even perfect at it, right? It's a constant learning, but making sure that we get that flow through our body so that we can actually have the oxygen move adequately, the blood to move adequately, relax the muscles, relax the mind. It's so powerful. When teaching yoga, when someone's stuck, I was like, breathe. And it's amazing how much their body can just surrender. It's just the most beautiful thing to witness. And then I did want to add as well, food-wise, things that you can do. It might not be suitable for vegans, but cow's milk, if it's unhomogenized, warmed up, is beautiful, very sattvic. Dates are very sattvic as well. Things like rice and ghee, all really amazing items to add into your regular diet to help ground in.
Okay, that's beautiful. Yes, I like that. And we need simple at the moment as well. Like I think as people move on to that journey, those things that you've mentioned are doable really, like they're not like hard ass. And you don't have to do all of them all the time, but consistently choosing something or a few things to focus on. And just also
you maybe just choose one thing, right? Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, and being easy on ourselves during that process, or yourself during that process. Oh, that's beautiful. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, well, I definitely want to do more because we hope that we can do more videos that focus on certain things, whether that's female health or things like that. So that will be exciting. And we also have the eclipse season coming up as well, which is a lot about beginnings and endings. So maybe there'll be something that we can do around then as well.
I would love to.
Great. Well, I thought maybe I'll pull out a few cards just to see when everyone comes onto this, what the message is. So one's just jumped out, another one, and let's see. They're very jumpy today. It must be all the energy that's happening this week. Let's see. All right, let's see one more. If it's coming out. All right, so interestingly enough, we've got the Knight of Cups, which I take as it's the cups is all about this love energy. And because we're talking about ourselves, I feel like it's, we're moving through this emotional period, but being there for ourselves and really being that loving guidance to ourselves is how we then have other people treat us. So if we're not being that loving person to ourselves, then how can we really expect others to do that? And so that message is coming strongly for that, which is super interesting because it doesn't
love that.
Oh, good. Oh, the Emperor card has come out. Major Arcana is a big theme about empowerment. So really stepping into our power. And I feel like with, it's this new letting go of all the old stuff is when we become empowered because we're no longer held back by all of our old beliefs or all of the things that caused us trauma. So that's a really beautiful one to come out.
Wow. Yeah, so we've been talking about that.
Yeah. I love that. And then these two came out. So the Knight of Swords and then the Hermit card, which is really interesting because they're kind of opposites generally, because the Hermit is wanting to go within what I see this in, and maybe it's meant to come out that way, is like going within is what gives you the light, that internal knowledge, and then allows you to move forward, to charge forward. But if we don't take that time to go within, how do we even know where we're going? So it's a really interesting one about taking that time to listen to ourselves. And that's what you were talking about, you know, that moon, like taking that deep breath to also come within. So that's really resonates as well with what we've talked about today. And then, so all of that, like nurturing ourselves, coming into our power, really listening to ourselves, then gives us at the bottom of the deck the Fool card, which I love, which is all about, it's the first card in the deck, and it's a new beginning. It's really becoming who we really are. People think the Fool is not a great thing, but I love the Fool. It's like you don't care what other people think. You just do what you want to do. And that's when you're being your authentic self. And that's what we need, is like authenticity, rather than following the crowd and doing what everyone else is doing. So, I love that. Thanks for letting me share that, Jade.
Thank you. Such a pleasure, Julie.
Oh, no worries. So you mentioned something that you have a program coming up soon, or is that not quite established yet for your women's program?
Yeah, I do. I'm in the moment of the time of creation, which is super exciting. But it's really about supporting women specifically, and it's around just, we get so fatigued and tired, and our boundaries come down because as nurturers, we always feel like we need to fill everyone else's cup before our own. So what I'm going to be sharing with people are not just ways in which that can support you. They are ways in which I have used personally in order to lead my life the way in which I do. So I'm super excited to be sharing that with everyone as that comes through. So when the launch actually happens, I'll be sure to let you know, Julie, and let all your audience as well. Thank you so much.
You know, that's exciting. I really love that. I think now is the time for all of us to really step up and look after ourselves and look after each other and create community. So it's really beautiful. Oh, well, thanks so much for your time. I've loved our time together, and I'm looking forward to more in the future.
Me too. Thanks so much, Julie. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you soon. Bye now.